There we are. Hello, 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 and good evening to you all. Goodness gracious. Oh, today has been stressful. Dear. How is everyone else feeling tonight? I hope they're feeling a lot better than I am, frankly. I could be doing better than I am now. Goodness. Deep sighs. You start doing the Tai Chi to calm myself down. Goodness. But yes, I've thrown a little pinned comment at the top there to talk about one of the many things I was dealing with today. I'm also using a different microphone. Isn't that interesting? Yes, I've borrowed a microphone. The original one I was using is still sitting here. Sounds fine. Not too quiet, not too loud. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's hope it stays that way, because I was listening to the last stream and it sounded horrendous. I have no idea what that was about. But I'm using a different mic. It's not a compressor mic, so hopefully it'll pick up a bit less than the previous one did. Also changed where my audio interface is joined to the computer, so hopefully that means there won't be as much electrical interference. Now, good evening, Tiberian, and good evening, RT. How are you lads and lasses feeling tonight? Ooh. Feeling good? Drinking your soft drinks or your water? Or your tea or coffee, depending. You tell me if it sounds any strange, as RT says it sounds fine, but does it sound fine to you, Tiberian? I've changed microphones. And messed around with most of the audio equipment and the balancing, so hopefully it sounds fine. Fair enough. Drive safely, don't let me distract you. I'd not want to lose one of my good viewers for that. Oh, good. I should finally be stopped being haunted by that damnable buzz that I've always had a problem with, so let us jump over to the game screen. Oh yes, and also OBS decided to... it was just such a pain. Now. Just got out of work. Ooh, must be tired. Time to wind down. Have a nap. Goodness, I should turn my fan on. But, is it reloading at all? Ah. God, I messed around with the game capture, didn't I? Tired and hungry. A most dangerous place to be. I always find that's when I get most annoyed. Going to capture it? No. I'm just gonna have to play this game, won't I? There we are. That'll do. Finally. Yes, this is where our checkpoint was. If I remember correctly, this fellow was just pulled apart by some invisible and unseen force. A little annoyed. They kept me a bit longer than they needed me. Ah, happens. Happens to me at all my jobs I've had. They do like not respecting your time. Now I'm here, I wonder if I can sneak back to that area that I went to. Oh dear. No, apparently not. Well, only place to go is another loading screen. Bit strange, this gas here, isn't there? Well, off we go. Collapse. And down we go. Ah, good old Officer Bradley. He was supposed to be dead, wasn't he? Goes back to the Hawkins Manor. Ah. This microphone's not even picking up the rattle of my drink. Amazing. You'll lose all that delicious ASMR content, though. Now, what is going on here? Ooh, a fisheye. I think. Oh, some kind of possessed cephalopod. The whiskey. No. You were saying the drinks were the things causing the nightmares, so you probably don't need one of those, old mate. Look at this fellow. Ah, the doctor saved me. Oh, good. I was hoping it would move me, it seemed a bit strange. Well, Bradley got murdered. Damn. Oh, you probably don't have game audio, do you? There we are.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
I have one answer.
That's possible.
Cults.
Seems
They make you do a lot of strange things without explanation.
Concrete, Pierce?
Damn. Let's test psychology.
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Oh dear.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Well, that was pointless.
Bradley, what do you remember?
What does he remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry.
Ooh, would you look at
I don't
that?
recall how I came back home.
The plot certainly
I went to
thickens.
visit you at the
Thickens, not
hospital.
deepens. Well, it
Called
deepens
on
in this
Marisa
case,
to
the
get you
abyss and all that.
released.
And you don't remember
Remember
the
the
events of the tunnel.
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Seems awful deflective, mate. Oh well. Dr. Golden?
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla.
It all comes back to that damnable ship and that miracle cat.
Hawkins family before he died, and his son
These sort of
Thomas
stories
Hawkins.
always seem to, don't they?
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
Well,
You
most
wouldn't be
crazed
happy
well, I
with
suppose
him.
actually there were a few crazed emperors that did
I
do
know
that
the
sort of
risks.
thing.
I don't fear him. Do you
Ooh,
wish to know anything else?
spicy.
I found this at the Hawkins house. The doses seem
Insane.
Barbiturates. But these doses...
What do you mean?
Half the island is under treatment. What is prescribed here, however, is enough to knock out an ox.
Well, if you take enough of
Fuller wrote
anything.
This prescription to fool everyone into believing she was mad.
Or perhaps her husband wrote it.
Perhaps Charles and Dr. Fuller were in league.
A conspiracy. How dreadful.
Cobwebs
Dr.
and
Fuller seems to
conspiracies,
leave
it
a trail
seems.
of
Cobwebs and
corpses. Not
conspiracies.
to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes, I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Well,
Do you even hear what you're saying?
in 1920s,
Fuller is highly respected.
unfortunately those things weren't too different from each other sometimes, especially when some person thought they were right and there was no large legal body to stop them, or they were rich enough to own a tiny little piece of land that could act like its own bloody country. Fairly cultish if you think about it.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
I don't think anyone should be getting transferred to the basement.
And that's what killed him.
Oh, panda knives.
How did he die?
Good to see you. Glad you're so excited.
Tell me.
We're
how
back
Mr.
here in the
Sanders died.
deep dark madness.
I didn't see what, but something was
Oh,
there.
you just woke up. Well, at least you slept this time. Certainly doing better than last time. Keep it up.
Said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor.
Good to see you too, Sir James.
A living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the
Good to see
Hawkins
you're both
case.
so excited.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Let me sap some of your
Francis
energy like
Sanders
some kind of
mentioned
old man
Mrs.
vampire.
Hawkins just before dying. It's
Still
no
5 AM, but it's better.
You know,
Well,
Francis
sleep is
Sanders
sleep.
was a well-known art collector.
I'm up
I
early
guess
tomorrow
he'd still
morning
pay
as
a
well
visit
for
to
me,
his
because
wife,
it's evening here.
Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
Ooh.
But that
Voices.
truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Empire? Why the question about empires? Empire, I said. Not empire. It would be very strange if an empire started sacking people's energy. Actually, no, it wouldn't. That is a pretty normal thing for most empires. They do sort of sap their workers of energy, don't they? Go to the ocean and kick Cthulhu in the face. I distinctly remember the story Call of Cthulhu. I'm definitely the one to stay
You're right.
prudent.
Without a plausible explanation.
But
for
I
what
believe
saw,
to remember that they
that's
tried to crash a boat into Cthulhu State.
Wise indeed.
Didn't quite work out.
Very well. I'll go to see
I thought we were
Francis.
restarting the British Empire. Not
Perhaps
quite
I'll
yet,
find a
mate.
link between her husband's death and Sarah
And let's
Hawkins.
be honest, as an
Who ended up in the
Australian,
hospital
the
list?
British Empire hasn't done much for me.
I'll do my best.
So I'll steal their accent, but steal their accent. The Australians ended up with a strangely British accent. Was anyone actually listening? Because I wasn't. Now, I suppose we have to talk to this lady. The Empire from Star Wars, eh? Well, I suppose they had 80 years and it's done nothing for me, and me seething at them. Fair enough. The Empire from Star Wars. Well, we'd need a fellow with no legs or arms, and a heavy respirator, and an old man who looks vaguely like, I want to say, a very old man's family jewels, who can sit around on a chair going, do it, do it. Ah, and then we can start the Empire from Star Wars. Perhaps then we'll be able to get rid of
What can I
Cthulhu.
do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders,
Lightsabers, a civilized weapon
private
for a more
detective.
civilized age.
We must talk about your husband.
And
his
probably
ties to Sarah
good at
Hawkins.
killing that Cthulhu? I'm not too
Can I
sure.
come in?
We'll see.
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, there you
Well,
go.
well, look who's here.
Old cat.
You know each other.
Let
Our
me try
paths
that.
crossed.
Jedi Winter, fighting
A brave
Cthulhu.
detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her
How about this?
every time I'm investigating someone's
Oh.
death.
Ah, hello,
Small
Natsuki. Good to
island
see you too.
detective. My island.
And I can be the
It's
old
better
man
that
that
it's
shoots
you
lightning and
bumping into
says,
me.
there we go.
You're investigating Francis.
Unlimited power!
Why?
Ah!
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
We are very
Well, since this
off
business has
kilter
got
from what this
nothing to do
game's
with
tone
me,
is meant to be.
I'll be in your
This
husband's
is supposed to be a
office,
deep
Irene.
noir tale,
We'll carry on later.
with smooth jazz in the
Very well, Miss
background and
Baker.
the sound of rain on rooftops.
This way, Mr. Pierce. And do
And
make yourself comfortable.
Crippling alcoholism.
It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Indeed, it would seem. So,
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk
how is
to
it
my
now?
husband?
Yesterday.
I'm wondering when the
I was in
dubstep will
hospital.
kick in
Spoke
and
to me
the
about
tone of the
Sarah
story will
Hawkins.
completely change.
Of course he spoke to you about her.
Ah, yes, this face.
That's all he talked about.
Ah!
Sarah
Quite a
Hawkins'
dramatic face, isn't it?
paintings.
Like one of those
Please forgive the
paintings
tone.
from,
The fact is that
or like
I have
a, what
not
is that
been allowed
type
to
of
see
Japanese
him
theatre? The
since he was
kabuki theatre.
interned.
I just need the paint,
You, on the
face
other hand,
paint.
a perfect stranger, were able to see him and
Yo!
even talk with him the day he died.
Talk, talk.
How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Ah. Well, yes. I do actually have a very similar skin tone, skin texture, I suppose, to these fellows. Though I feel like in the cinematics, I have a few more frames than they do. But yes, I didn't notice that before. That's a good one, Panda.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable.
Inevitable.
The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He
Where am I
suffers
looking?
no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course.
Oh, that worked. Oh
Thank
my
you for
goodness.
your kind
That's the first
words.
time any of my checks have actually
Nobody in the
passed.
hospital would deign to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Let me give you... passing them skill rolls. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, lass. It is the 1920s. And that is a insane asylum. Not, you know, what we would call these days a reputable institute. Ooh, let's see if our eloquence will pass. Why would I be saying that, though? It seems a bit like I have something to do with it, by saying I share your grave, but I had nothing to do with it. What are you talking about? I wasn't there when your husband died a terrible death. 'Twas not me who held the knife to his throat, and watched the light pass from his eyes. Goodness gracious. I'm just gonna say it's called... Now what should I do? Ah, stuff it.
Mrs. Sanders, I understand your grief, and I extend my deepest condolences to you. But I had nothing to do with the death of your husband.
Yes,
Just arrived
that
on
is true. I only saw him
investigating the
float
death
around
of
the
the
room
Hawkins
and
family.
The death of the Hawkins
get
family?
folded up like a
You mean it was not an
strange slinky.
accident? This accursed island knows only tragedy after tragedy. You too would be advised to flee it like the plague.
I
Oh,
would, but I
Mr.
don't think
Pierce.
I would be able to do
I
that.
would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did I pass that check as well? Because if I did, what's with me? Absolute master of eloquence? Eloquence. That's the mix between elegance and eloquence. Eloquence. Making new words. The game won't let me, madman. Let's see about
Did
the
your
Shambler, eh?
husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such
Stuck
a shameful
do not
and
to the
miserable
plot
end to
reasons.
his life.
Hold on. The shambler is a
Painting.
by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself,
Well, well,
if
well.
you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage.
I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Oh, well,
Thank
well.
you, Mrs. Sanders.
How very
won't be
dramatic,
long.
isn't it? Ooh, look at all those character points, fellas. I could become a master of psychology. Or eloquence. Let's jump into psychology. There we are. It's a painting of you. How dare you? Is it a painting of me, the character? She's so afraid of me. This face. It's just a painting of me going, ah. I come for your sandwiches. I don't know why sandwiches were the thing that came to mind. It has to be shambling for something. And today I do feel a bit like a shambler. An interesting time to join, eh, Cardbox? This is a dubstep shoot-'em-up tale. Well, well, well. Where should I put this last point? I'll put it towards eloquence. Validate. Now let's go look at this horrid painting, shall we? No, I did, it wasn't the most expensive job, but I did get a model made by a fellow. So, I let him deal with it. It wasn't... Yes, I do my own model. It looks like a Gmod one. It does sort of look like something from the Source Film engine. But no, it was a simple, cheap model job that I got from a fellow on Fiverr, actually. Not too bad, really, considering. Especially how expensive.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
He's gonna go around and start playing there. Let's hope this isn't some private tape meant for the husband and wife's ears only, like some kind of phonograph version of a... Well, an adult's tape, I suppose. Something you'd find in the back corner of a Blockbuster.
Irene, I made a mistake.
Indeed. But I imagine it's going to be a bit more depressing than that, unfortunately.
Nobody should enter, except to burn everything.
Oh dear.
I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head.
Yes, well, mine certainly wasn't almost £2,000. Mine was a far bit less than that. Less than half of that, actually. Behind his eyelids. I suppose that's how he ripped his eyes out.
I can't take any more. I can't hold him back.
Yes, I'm glad you think it's quite good, Sir James.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Oh, calm down. Off we go. It was not very enlightening. We all knew he was a madman. That didn't really help. But yes, I will ask again, now you're all listening. You've probably seen my pinned comment there. Do tell me if it all sounds very nice and clean, because I've been messing with the audio equipment. I've swapped from a Scarlett Studio compression mic to a classic Shure M57, I think. Just a simple microphone. So, oh dear. Goodness. Frightened me, old cat.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Watch out! The cat might take my tongue.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Yes, there was a real problem I was listening to the last VOD. Obviously, any volume is good, there's no background noise, but yes. I was listening to the last VOD, and it was just, goodness, it was very fuzzy, very distorted, and so thought I had to do something about it. Give it away from nothing. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the chandelier. And you did get me good, Panda. Ooh, strength. I have no idea why I'd need strength to open a tiny box. It doesn't even look rusted. Oh. Yes? Oh, dear. This will affect your destiny, says Cthulhu in the top left corner. Malus Bestiarium, Volume 2. Excuse me. Now, Cat.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal.
Funny,
than
that's a little
others.
joke about
What have you
alcoholism.
come looking for in this gallery?
Let's see if this works.
I have a well-off client in Boston who heard about the death of Francis Sanders and wanted me to size up his estate.
A clever
making
lie,
an offer
actually.
to his widow.
Perfect, Detective. The pretext, the body language. I would have bought it if it was the first time I'd seen your face. You're a good talker, Pierce. Your story will do for the moment.
Oh, when'd you look at that? Oh, really, now? Where's the fellow that writes books? Is it the wizard in D&D? Am I just got the piece of paper and thrown it into my little book? Now I only need a honey and the soul of the firstborn child to teleport to the moon? Or is that warlocks?
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings.
Well,
She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
a smart
Believe it
idea.
or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater.
Wouldn't have
It
guessed.
needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Well, far less likely to be involved with a cult, at least. Doesn't seem like cults would be good for your sort of business. This. Dissertation on an anatomical question. Fancy. They don't write articles and books like that anymore. They're a lot more boring sounding, but they're actually a lot more scientifically sound. Wow, this is quite the impressive. There seems to be an awful lot of money on this island. Oh no. Well, fellas, it seems we'll be hiding from someone. What a wretched discovery. The hell would be hiding from here? Now. Goodness. Me, oh no. But you're a teleporting invisible panda person with knives. How shall I ever... Hiding in a cupboard would be pointless. You would be hiding in the cupboard already. Ready to pounce on me. Ah! Oh no! You're running right towards me right now. Ah! Ah! Goodness. I'm gonna turn around. Behind me on the screen, Panda Knives is just going to be looming. Well, how very Neolithic. You'd think they would have excavated these a bit more instead of tastefully half hiding them in the rock, but... Ooh, a ritual dagger. Give it to me. Damn. Ooh, ink.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Yes, the strange things rich people do. I suppose he got this from some kind of Cthulhu cult in Egypt. very good artistic skill to make such a complicated sculpture. And for it to keep its teeth after so many years. The most impressive part about that. It's time for me to admire the art. I hope you signed up for one of those YouTube videos where somebody slowly walks through the Louvre or something and doesn't say anything. Just. Well, I do have quite a few strange sculptures and statues and certain things in my room, but I have a bit more of modern tastes. Not so much for terrifying monster sphinxes from the depths of the ocean. I'm certainly known a few fellows who'd have loved this sort of thing. Oh look, that's a statue. If it was a snake I would have said it's Hercules, but that appears to be a goose. An even more terrible opponent than a snake. Oh, here it is again! Bloody hell, that artist was prolific, making statues of little boys choking gooses. Oh, and this one bleeds! Oh, it's stabbed. Oh, the goose has been stabbed. I see. What an epic jewel that it would have been. Fabulous. No idea how they managed to make his back skin look like that. Another stranger spending millions of dollars on a Roscoe. That is true. I do tend just to collect small knickknacks that tend to have a significance to me rather than significance to the world. The most fancy thing I think I have in this house is probably a book. And probably that book I was reading out on Tuesday, the Tale of the Ancient Mariner that is in this house. That's probably the fanciest thing that's here. Quite an old book,
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
And would match the aesthetic of this place, actually. Well, mostly. Wonderful paintings. Don't really seem to match the style of the 1920s. Perhaps I don't remember my 1920s art classes about 1920s art well enough, but she's certainly a maverick, is this old Sarah Hawkins. Well, was this old Sarah Hawkins. I suppose we should look at the centerpiece. Oh, the painting's gonna come to life, isn't it? Painting's going to come to life, isn't it, the bloody thing? Well, come on, Shambler. Bite my arm off. Let's probably give this fellow more personality. The self-portrait. Goodness, I didn't know you could unhinge your jaw. Like some sort of strange snake. How does my hair keep doing that all of a sudden? Well, his hair. At first it's all nice and swished back, and then instantly he's suddenly in like, I've been a terrible drunkard for 30 years. Kevin Bacon-esque. Well, certainly not ideal. You know what it reminds me of? Those monsters out of that horror game. I realise now how that may narrow it down, but I'm sure someone knows what the horror game I'm talking about. You know, the one where they have the knives coming out of their back. That was a fun game. I should play that one. Put it on the list. That's what he seems like. Ooh. Oh, he's dangerous to look at. Good. Wonderful. Perfect. How Shoggoth. Hey, cat. I'm sure you have a baton or something that... Oh, good God. I'm afraid of tight spaces. But I'm more afraid of... Yeah, I didn't think that would work. Yes, I suppose that was about to be expected. Wonderful. At least time I just... Can I skip this?
What the hell was that?
A monster. Probably something a rich person would have owned and kept in a basement to feed the poor to or something. No, I have never played pretty much any of the Fallout games, actually.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Ooh, time to shank the bastard. Ah! Dang it. I suppose I have to sneak up on the fella. Oh, you got me, Bandit Eyes. Didn't realize you could take your skin off and rip throw flaps over your eyeballs, but we all have our makeups, I suppose. Mine is a good suit. Yours is turning inside out and becoming a blind creature that can turn invisible and kill with very sight of them. But yes, I've heard the Fallout series is quite good. I feel like I saw the Fallout series first when it was like this little isometric, quite, what is it, quite an indomitable little things.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
On Steam, $3 US. Your horrifying monster demon form. I wish I had a horrifying monster demon form. It would have made a heap of business deals go a lot more easily. How do I attack with this bloody thing? Time to kite. I'll have to give Fallout New Vegas a look, though, while I'm thinking about it. I'll put it on the list of things. I do remember it's quite a large game, isn't it? So I'll have to commit quite a bit of time. Perhaps do it once a week or something such like that. You know what? This seems more like it would work. Let's try this one. If I can figure out how to bloody stab the bastard. Evening. I suppose. I'm a bit of a person who gets distracted by things, as you can probably tell of how I stream. Get very, very distracted. Now. Bloody hell. I'll figure out how to stab this fellow yet. Oh yes! You make a good point, Panda Knives. Maybe use the knife on the painting. Seems you were right.
Damn it. This dagger didn't work.
But here I thought the fancy little snake-like dagger would work. Oh dear. Well, at least, unlike Resident Evil, they're not cutting my arms off constantly. At least they had the good dignity just to kill me. Oh, thank you, Panda Knives. I should have asked you first. Your specialty is knives, after all. You would know exactly where to stab someone. Especially considering you seem to be saying it's you. Let's try this one.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Now, this is Cthulhu-y enough. Indeed you did! One of these many daggers this fellow has in his building.
This dagger didn't work.
Unfortunately, this crazy man had an awful lot of daggers. I wish he wouldn't have so many bloody daggers. That one looks nice. Let's get that one.
This dagger looks different.
I think I found the right one. Way! Violently disembowel this monster. Take that, Panda Knives. I have sealed away your demon form. Go back to the hell than whence you came from. For a moment there I thought he was going to do a yelling contest with the old fella. Rah, 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 rah. Well, that certainly isn't good. The Ingly Black. Don't stab yourself. He's gonna stab himself, isn't he?
What's the matter with you?
Well. I think we may have ruined our chances with this lady thinking we're a reasonable human being.
At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
When the hell did I ever say that to you, lass?
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Maybe the monster, but... let's just say I was drunk.
That goes without saying. If you can't tell the difference between reality and fiction, then you're in real trouble.
Frankly, that is certainly very 1920s where they think alcohol is going to make you see fairies. I wonder what bloody alcohol they sell on this island. Never have I downed a bottle of whiskey and started having visions of the great unknown. Oh dear, just noticed there's a bottle on my shelf that looks like it's about to fall off. I have to go fix that. All pink elephants, yes. I feel these people have a severe misunderstanding of inebriation. Alcoholic inebriation, at least.
I ran, screamed, broke a pane of glass. You were in the next room and you didn't hear a thing.
If I hadn't heard a thing, I'd still be in the other room.
You make
The
a good
door
one.
was
Oh, purple
blocked.
dogs. Goodness
I got it
gracious.
as
All
soon
these
as I
coloured
could.
animals.
I like to look after my goods.
But none of them
You
associated with being drunk.
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm
The only
talking
time
about
they
the
would be
contents of this
associated with being
gallery.
drunk is when pigs
And
can
by the
fly.
way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
And shooting them out of a large
It
cannon doesn't
saved my
count.
life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater.
Oh, Algernon
He'll tell
Drake.
you
That's the
all
fellow that
about
was in the
it.
pub.
From what I
With the
saw in
tattoos.
ledgers, it was him who
Looked like a
sold them to
demon hunter.
Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information.
Why would I know what her style is? I barely
Take it as
talk to the
payment for
lady.
being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Oh, it's a painting of her. I see it now. How very abstract. Goodness. Oh, it's getting quite hot in this room. Open a window. Oh, sorry. Oh dear. Wow. I don't quite have that sort of arrogance. But the sort of thought has certainly crossed my mind. Stand there with a scepter and the orb. Australia has been blessed with my beautiful countenance. Oh dear. Somebody broke in. Perhaps our cephalopodian friend from before. But no, I have paintings of various things, but not of myself in regal gown, though I should get one. Sounds like fun.
Where's the bookseller?
The bookseller. Indeed. Looks like this man has a lot more interest than just books. Panda Knives, do you have such a picture in your own house? Of you holding a scepter and a crown, wearing a crown, holding a scepter and an orb? Like the Queen of England? Suppose I should extend the question to everyone. Anyone here got yourself fairly arrogant painting? Seems like it would be fun. Display it in the main hall. First thing anyone sees as they walk into the house is
What happened here?
your beautifully rendered face. Look upon thee
Let's
and
start over.
despair.
Where did they break in from?
Oh dear. Probably the door.
Blood. Seems like amateur work.
Ooh, cheetahs and leopards. How very decadent. I have paintings of... or 2 portraits. So it's either... When I walk into your house, it's either a painting of cheetah and leopards, or 2 separate portraits. They are not one and the same. It just randomizes every time you walk into the house. Sometimes it's
To whom
cheetahs and
does this
leopards,
book
sometimes it's the
belong?
paintings of those long lost. Screaming out of the frames.
No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then?
And my father tried to give me a painting of my great-mother painted of me and my parents as a child, but I didn't want it. I have a painting that grandmother painted. There's quite a few of them around. The big one in the kitchen. I scanned that one, not actually her painting, because it was from our grandmother's home. But yes, I have a personal painting. It's sitting in the hallway. You can see it from my room. Of a old it wasn't a Queensland, it's an old shed in the desert, out west in Queensland, I believe. Oh, okay. I see. Cheetahs in my leopards in my room, the portraits are in my living room. Fair enough. But yes, I have a painting of the Australian outback, and then a very large painting of the Australian outback. Again, not a painting, that one. It was a painting. Unfortunately, the actual painting's gone now.
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his... What killed all these
But we
animals?
managed to acquire some very good pictures of it. An amateur painter. My grandmother's house was covered in paintings. She was quite the avid painter. I should get a picture of one of them. Show them on screen.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene?
Oh, look, an occult protection. I don't think my grandmother ever did it professionally. She did it as a hobby, but she did... Every wall in her house was covered in framed paintings, and some of the walls themselves were entirely paintings. She used to paint it. There was a section of her house that was for guests, and one of the walls, it was a 2 or 3 meter wide and 1.5 meter, 2 meter tall wall that was just entirely this large, mighty landscape painting. It was quite impressive. Only pictures of we have it of it now. Unfortunately, we couldn't pull the drip rock out of the house when we sold it after she passed away.
What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
I have an abstract painting I found in a bin at the charity shop. Interesting. Never know, could be quite a spectacular painting. Oh. A friend of mine was quite kind. A real oil painting. Oh, wow. Quite decadent thing to find. You know that fancy book I was talking about? The, copy of the, Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Sarah Hawkins
Is in my
had
house.
hid something in this safe.
That was also found at a charity store. There's just some amazing things you can find at charity stores. Yes, that one. That book I also found in a charity store. St. Vinny's or some such. Quite amazing.
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide.
A very, very old book. Doesn't even have,
everything's linked to the Sarah Hawkins
You know how
case.
books these days, when they're bound together, the sides are all even, the tops and bottoms are really nice. Well, this was bound long enough ago that it wasn't cut evenly. Each page was slightly different length. It was only the same length at the top and bottom. So, that was quite amazing. It was also made of leather, the book cover. And also, thank you for watching the VOD, Tiberian. Did you enjoy that particular stream? I had quite a bit of fun with it.
Is everyone
Anyone
on
else
this
seen
island
that
taking
particular
sleeping
stream? I
pills?
know many of you may not have watched the VODs, but anyone else here watch the VODs for the Tuesday stream? I have a picture of my dog into my flat. Oh, it's good that you enjoyed it, Tiberian. I had a lot of fun being very nostalgic about that sort of stuff. Look out into the mat. It has stains on it. An interesting place to put a picture of your cat, but
What link
be
did
it
you
I to
find
choose
between
or
Charles
judge what you
Hawkins
decide
and
to
an
do.
old amulet?
I don't have many pictures of my old pets, unfortunately. Oh, for the 1920s, $2,000 for an amulet. Pricey. In fact, if I think correctly, that book, actually speaking of the 1920s, may be as old as this game is based.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
It may actually be as old as this game's basis. There's something hidden here. Oh, yeah.
A strange amulet. I have a feeling I'd better not touch it.
An amulet in the shape of the dog. That is a charitable description of that statue. The shape of a dog, eh? Now, who I thought dogs didn't look like horrid bat-like creatures. Speaking of childhood things, I'm pretty sure my childhood dog didn't start sprouting wings and flying away. That is likely what my parents told me when they unfortunately passed. Ah, I also have a painting of... Oh, wow, we have just... a lot of paintings in our houses, don't we? Well, I have my... sister and brother-in-law's dog staying with us right now. He gave away all our paintings. I see. I should bring them on sometime, the old dogs. Back when I did the singing stream, you can't watch it anymore because, of course, I had to private it.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen.
But yes, the dogs are here. One called Pippa and one called Bo. Excitable little things. You never know. Probably listening in from outside right now. Waiting for a very loud noise to happen and them to start barking furiously. Ah, songbirds. My mother quite likes songbirds, actually. She once had a bit of a habit of... She once made a little tune on the piano by copying the song of the... magpies in the area.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Well, you see, somebody hadn't invented the amazing power of color film. And so, of course, if the media isn't... I'm personally not too sure how many songbirds we have, but we do have a lot of birds that make an awful lot of noise. You have the lyrebird, or is that a New Zealand bird? No, that's Australian, the lyrebird. It's quite a good one. I don't know if it classes a songbird, but... we do have quite a few birds that have quite interesting songs. I'm not too sure.
Another volume by
Though,
Arkham
I never really learnt much from my mother about
Arkham
birds.
editions.
Except for the fact that
Never heard of him.
bloody plovers are called masked lapwings and aren't actually part of the
How many
plover
volumes
family
are
at
there
all.
in this collection? Another volume by Arkham editions. Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
I suppose I'd have to look it up. And shoot birds without shotguns in the USA. Well, I imagine not all of them. I imagine there are a few that are endangered that you shouldn't really be shooting with shotguns. And there are less shotguns in Australia, but I imagine there are still a few birds being shot.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Interesting. Well, that is the case of things.
Freud's The
Ah.
Interpretation of Dreams.
Freud's interpretations of
It's the
dreams.
work
Anyone
that
read that
laid
one?
the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
Oh, Freud, you strange, strange man. Oh, look. How occultism and medicine is leveling up very quickly. Maybe we'll be able to finally pass some of those checks.
An old diary.
Master declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan deity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to the voice in his head because it holds the truth. Reminds me of a ghost story, actually. I really have to tell that one day. Well, I suppose it was the explosion of thought. The religion of the Elephant Man, dear. Better be careful, the religion of the Elephant Man sounds awfully like some kind of Hinduism religion. Where would I find a code? Probably should have been concentrating on all those clues I was collecting.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Yes, everyone wanted to make cult or religion at one point. Lasted throughout the whole 20th century, I feel people were trying to make cults and followings, and I suppose they still do it these days. I've known a few cult members and a few cults. Not been in any. And then oh yes. Studying the Greek world. I believe that's actually a thing. What if you follow all religions? Maybe it's not quite that simple, but I cannot remember what it was called. But there was this old religious thought. I don't know where. Well, it's legal to follow any religion, so technically it's legal to follow all religions, I'd imagine. Freedom of religion and all that stuff. Interesting. But what was it called? I can never remember the name of the damn group. But I remember when I was a young man they would talk about it. Or was it a young man? Younger man, perhaps is a better way of saying it. It's hard to remember when I've gone in and out of school so many times. As a teacher and as a student that I can't remember when it was. But it was somehow associated with a school, with the religious studies at a school. And it was a group that believed every path, every religion was a path to the same destination, I think was their whole thing. Christianity, Buddhism, all that stuff, in the end was leading to the same place. Oh, my mind's sharper than yours, Panda Knives. Sharper than one of your knives. Don't you patronize me, you cheeky sod. Yes, cult did used to be a word for a small religion. And for a lot of religions in general, really. There were cults of this and cults of that. It definitely happened a lot more often. I suppose we would usually describe small religions that follow all groups. Yes. That's what I was just about thinking. The old Greek gods. When you followed a particular god, you're a cultist of that god, you know?
And these red drops.
A cult of,
Stones lying
you know,
fixed, set
Aphrodite
in
and the
fine
like.
gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And
Guardian
I
of
do
the Grail.
confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Now cults are off-putting. Well, the word cult is off-putting. You certainly don't want to be called cult, because I believe... Is it a legal definition? Is cult a legal definition these days? Does it actually legally mean a group that is religious in nature, or appears to be religious in nature, and isn't actually protected under the laws of religions, you know how?
I finally understood that
Because
we
your
were
cult
only
became as bad as
pieces
the
on
work of no other god
chessboard of the
before me.
gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our white queen.
Old Christianity. Fun times. I was raised in a Christian household.
And my will strengthens as my apprehension grows.
Protestants.
We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Uh-huh.
Dear friend,
I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors,
Azathoth.
seem
Ooh,
particularly
fun.
relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Fun fellow. I don't know what that actually gave me, though. What's the religion where you die, but when you die you become God? Can't say I remember.
What did Drake say about this collection?
Thank you. I suppose we're looking for the volume number. Reputable by government have ex-worshippers. Ah. But is a faith then no longer a cult, but a religion in that case?
These red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me
Got
from
a few
its
games on
affection,
sale on Steam for QuakeCon. Now I have to pick
and I
them.
do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
A lot of Eastern ones have people becoming gods. Yeah, Doom is $5. Oh, interesting. The original Doom? Old Doom 3D or whatever it was called? A game that truly had a great amount of exposition in it. So pay. Interesting. They mentioned Azathoth in the last one. Doom Eternally?
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Yes.
So these are the volumes that Drake was taught. What did Drake say about this collection?
The 2016 one.
Drake
Yes.
talked about a particular volume.
Yes.
So these are the volumes that Drake. What did Drake say about this collection?
I think the third one is number 9. Where I move across. I changed that. How about we brute force this? We know that one's 9, so we've reduced the amount of button combinations we need. Just brute force it for the next 30 minutes. Let's check that second one. Yes, Azathoth and other things is volume number 9.
Volume.
Interesting. My watch has Roman numerals on it. Good fun. I feel like I don't see them these days.
And these red drops,
Let's go with the second one, actually.
Like precious. I finally understood that we
No.
were only pieces on the chessboard
Chessboard
of the
God.
gods. Let those of us who are
The Queen
still
has little
standing
protection.
protect our white queen from their dark soldiers. I see our
Interesting.
number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We
Perhaps
shall refuse
there's
to be
only
the playthings of destiny.
4 pieces? So perhaps 4. Number 4. And let's just brute force the next one. I'll be very upset if this doesn't work. Damn. Oh, you get your own planet to lord over in these religions, eh? Or in Doom 2016. Like 2 drops of gold. Damn. Certainly has to be 4. Ah, here we are.
The Chalice of Knowledge.
One, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Oh, and Doom Eternal can have a unicorn outfit. That certainly doesn't seem to match the...
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold.
I see.
To be the guardian of the
Well, I certainly didn't see the chat message, so...
And I do confess it.
5.
I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Oh, Mormonism. 6, wasn't it? Oh. Ah, Mormonism. I've met quite a few Mormons over my time. They also have a very nice church. In quite a few of this. A very nice church in a few places I've been. Oh, is that the religion where you become a god and you die? I will be honest, I haven't ever read the Book of the Mormons. Written by that fellow with the very normal name.
And these red drops, like
What was his name? I felt like he had such a normal name. Prophet fellow.
gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry.
Seems you have to go become a Mormon.
I am willing to pay to know its secrets. And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed.
Joseph Smith. There we are.
Gold.
I knew his name was very normal, wasn't it?
Does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Interesting. I do wonder. Sometimes it's a bit strange.
The chalice of knowledge.
I'm willing to pay to know its secrets, eh? And the biblical Odyssey was in Missouri in the United States. Oh wow. Man really loves Missouri, clearly. Each to his own Garden of Eden. I wouldn't say mine was in Missouri, but maybe more glamorous state. So it was Azeroth and Azeroth.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
Number 9. Oh, the American Indians were a lost tribe of Jews. Goodness. Now I don't know how it grew to be such a large religion. I suppose it's all up to the charisma of the man in power, I suppose. That's how any cult becomes a proper religion.
The Queen has little protection.
Out of... I'm religious when I die. I hope to become a god in real life and do whatever I want afterwards. Like those games where you look at the world in the third person, fast forward and rewind. Like a grand strategy like Age of Empires or Civilizations. Those sort of little things. Or Dungeon Keeper. I am clearly not thinking about this puzzle very well.
What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular... So these are the volumes that... What did Drake say about this? Drake talked about a particular volume.
Let me go find that last thing. I must listen to that last one again. Maybe there was a...
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham.
Yes, I am stuck, and no, you're not distracting me. I just had a very tiring day. Even if you fellows weren't here talking, I would be...
I never tire of
Volume 9. Yes, it is 9. I would be just as problematic.
That we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us
I
who
am
are still
stuck
standing
indeed.
protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows.
As it is the number 3.
We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian
Did you
of
ever
the
play
Grail
Black
does
and
not
White?
protect me from its attractions,
Hey.
Henry. And I do confess
Question
it.
for you.
I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Pay to know its secrets. Good God. Why can I not figure this bloody thing out?
chalice of knowledge.
Very interesting chalice to have. It looks like the fake Holy Grail from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. No. What the hell was the one? 3, 4. There's 9 and 5 and 3. Because if it's the Queen being... There we are. I could have sworn I did that before. But here we are! Necronomicon. I would assume. It always turns up in this sort of Cthulhu H.P. Lovecraft media. I'm surprised this game hasn't had the, you know, the college that turns up in all of them. The, I can't remember their names. Oh, there's always a copy of something, Tiberian. You can always find a copy of something. Oh, Necronomicon, eh? He sees you. Oh, Cthulhu sees you. Oh, goodness. Why the gold ring? I wonder. I believe the marriage ring is on the left hand, is it not? Suppose he's just being a bit blinged up. Oh, astral projection, eh? A book covered in human skin. I wonder how he knew it was human skin. It worries me that you've touched human skin that's been turned into a book enough, you understand what it feels like. That's the most worrying part about that statement. Goodness. Oh, and now pirates, eh, Panda? Pirates selling video games now. Suppose it's a more sustainable business than piracy. Here we are.
Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
Oh dear, we're
What says
back into
Dr.
the...
Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
Oh dear, we're back here again.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me?
Oh
I'm
dear, we're
Dr.
possessing...
Colden. We'll take care of you.
Marie, oh dear.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Did you inject him with a tranquilizer?
No, Doctor. Not me, not anyone. Our stock is empty, yet again.
A surprisingly common
But there
tale
was
in
enough for the
hospitals,
whole
unfortunately.
island.
More and more people are suffering from insomnia. We can't refuse to help.
Of course.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
A little thing that's known in some circles as death, probably.
What can you tell me about him?
He was
Tends to be the
highly
case with many of these
agitated
things.
An hour ago, we were about to tie him down when he fell asleep.
Also, congratulate me, I finally unstuck myself from the puzzle.
I thought
I'm
it
cool,
would
aren't
wake
I?
him up, but no.
Suave, smart. Mine like a steel trap.
Show me his file.
That's not possible.
And why is
Don't
that?
Tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well.
Thank you.
We need it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
Thank
why
you.
I
Thank you.
called you.
I know.
This man's ailment
Don't get too
has been
excited. Thank you.
hidden
Thank you.
from
Thank you.
us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told. After inhaling chemicals.
Oh, fun. Old getting a can of spray paint, spray it into a plastic bag, and breathing very heavily. Perhaps running to find some fuel and hanging out in a small room with a can of the stuff.
What are his symptoms?
His temperature has been going down, his skin losing its color, his body rigid. I closed his eyes myself. They were glassing over.
Well,
I didn't want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at
I
the expression.
I don't think he's
You
catatonic.
did well. Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will.
I think that man's just dead. Now, I only trained as a medical professional. But even I know, if somebody's becoming cold and their body is rigid, they may or may not just be dead. I know this is the 1920s, but good God, man.
I don't recognize him.
It's come with a bad
He just
case of
arrived from
death.
Ireland.
He said he worked on the docks, but not
Take a
with
couple of
the
these
captain's
pills
employee.
and sleep it off till
I
the
think he
morning. You'll
works
be
for Miss
fine.
Baker.
Goodness.
Who?
What do you think was going to
You know,
happen?
The woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Mhm.
Oh, I see.
Do you have other questions?
That'll do for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Death. I'm telling you, man's just dead.
Very well. I'll examine him. An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects.
Interesting. That must be that thing that we were injected with.
30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia.
Mhm.
Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell.
Well, he certainly isn't doing well.
His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out.
The guy can't be
He's
dead.
totally dehydrated.
Really?
His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin. Tender at the touch.
Oh, the fella's
Sticky.
never mind. Sorry, he's turning into a cold-blooded squid man.
Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia.
Fella's just
Doesn't
turning into a
seem like
cephalopod.
edema.
Sorry.
Protuberances
That was
seem to
certainly the more
indicate the
reasonable
presence
thing
of
than
a
death.
foreign body.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that.
He is
You're
Cthulhu.
our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms
Shut
are
up.
beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms
Seem
seem
limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if
Think
there
there's
is a bone
bone.
in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about
Fella's
his
just
training?
becoming a codfish.
It's soft at the touch.
Oh yes, I didn't really
It
think
does
about
seem
that. That
like
is
the
quite
skull of a
an
baby.
unusual character
Look
trait.
at these sticky rings
Oh, well.
growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll
Cephalopod.
find an explanation. You have to.
But I suppose this is a world that has ancient cults and giant unknowable gods.
Did you examine
I
his
can't actually.
abdomen? It would
I don't.
suggest
Unfortunately,
something
this is the
inside.
one horror game I've played where I
Yes,
don't have the magical power of telescopic
certain it's not an
telescopic
edema?
robo-eyes.
No. Can't you recognize an edema?
Mm,
Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Well,
Whatever it is.
if
this
he's
man
turning into a
has something
seahorse, he
inside
could
him that
be.
shouldn't be. We should operate on him at once.
The most terrifying of all the
Fuller said
elder
not to
gods.
worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
Seahorsus,
You know,
the seahorse god.
I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth.
And severely
I see
dehydrated
signs
because, of course, he's...
hypodermolysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose.
Well, that's
to no
ballsy.
avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier,
He
He
rehydrated, didn't
seemed
he?
to feel better.
yes, like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But
They're
that
having
doesn't
quite the
explain his
excitable
condition.
conversation over there, aren't they? I'm telling you, man, I scored 20 on that road beer, bro. I don't know,
almost
man.
believe it
I counted
myself. These
17.
symptoms
I don't know why I
are
went.
not those usually
What's
associated
his name? What are
with
those
the
fellas
human
called?
species.
Surfer, bro.
What do you mean?
I don't know,
tell me you
man.
believe
I
in
counted 17.
extraterrestrials.
No. This poor
Certainly
man
sounds like a
is from
conversation
our
two
world,
jocks were having.
alright.
But I would be very worried if your
undergoing
jock had
unnatural
glasses like that fella.
mutations,
Look at Dr.
and
Fuller,
this
he's got the whole
transformation is killing him.
Victor
His body
Frankenstein's
simply can't
modern
cope.
reinterpretation
gotten such an
glasses. Look at
infection?
that.
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing?
What I'm doing, I'm worrying about the length of your neck,
Let us
fellow.
calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients, provide him with the best available care.
Your
Well, I do
imagination
think
is without
octopuses are
limit.
very, very
It's your
sturdy
homemade
creatures.
drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
Heard you IRL insult him. Yeah, the man's coming for me. You may or may not be
I've
turning
seen
him into a squid.
Suction cups on his fingers, his falling body temperature, his dehydration. Had I only read the report, you know what I would have concluded, Doctor.
Do I? Tell me anyway. I'm curious.
He's no longer human. These are the attributes
Bit of a strong one, but yes, fair enough.
an animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say?
There we are, the
More
cephalopod.
precise. Cephalopod, perhaps.
This amuses you.
Your
Indeed it
reaction
does.
I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor.
The
It's
moment
your
that
innocent
is
wellness
said
for
by
us.
any fellow, especially with an accent like
Exactly.
his, it's always dangerous,
And
isn't
the
it?
others whose medical files you've been hiding.
You lust
I
for
have to
knowledge like
protect my
I do,
discovery.
don't you, Doctor?
These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be in
You
time.
go strange.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the
Nobody
meantime,
does.
take
Why
care
do
of
they
your
always
own
think
patients
people will
and try
share
not
their
to
point of
forget
view?
who
Is
you
it because
believe
they're
in.
in fact incredibly lonely?
Was that a threat?
Also, I don't know enough
What
about
did he
Hugo
mean?
Strange to
It
know
was a warning.
what that fellow looks like,
Dr.
unfortunately.
Fuller is this
But I'll
institution's
trust you when you
founder
say that.
and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
You are working on a
Scandalous.
very,
we
very,
do anything?
very
Is there no
remote
evidence
island
of his crimes?
in an insane asylum with a famous, in inverted commas, doctor. Your career may have already been on the downward spiral,
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it.
but
I need to find the missing medical
maybe somebody just wanted
files.
you out of sight and out of
where
mind.
Would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd
He's a
rather
Batman
think
too, he's a
about it.
psychologist and also looks
I'm
like that.
counting on
Oh,
your
I see.
discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me.
This fellow's not a psychologist, he's just manipulative. Well, well, well.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom again. And she still says nothing to that old witch, Donovan?
Listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl.
Gossiping, gossiping, gossiping. How very fun.
And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
We all know those sort of
At
people.
least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off. It's a real show.
Oh, the water gets cut off in a hospital. Wonderful. That's always a good sign.
Watch out for the water, Doctor.
You can't tell me what to do. I'm the doctor here. Wow. A slightly worrying place to cook food.
Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food.
An interesting observation. Copper. Don't slip on the water and die. Nice floor tile. Yes. I'm sure that was a pain to make. Certainly has that hospital interior design, doesn't it? These days I don't prefer this sort of tile, a bit too difficult to keep clean.
Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
Ah, classic
I'm
insane
sorry.
asylum sort
Dr.
of thing.
Fuller is a very busy man.
Well, is there anyone else who can tell us what's going on?
She's our only family, you know? And we can't even see her medical file.
Oh, and anyway, Pendenice, even if I slipped on the water and knocked my head, at least I'm in a hospital. They may or may not save me. It's a bit of a crapshoot, considering this is a 1920s hospital, but yeah, fair enough.
I'm aware our institution is not always welcoming, but your mother is in good hands. I'll tend to her.
Oh, she isn't, but
and keep you informed at once.
I do love your enthusiasm, Dr. Calder.
Well, that sure sounds great to us, Doctor. Thank you.
But those are just words, so we're not budging.
Very well. At least I'll know where to find you.
I don't care about women at this time. This is true.
Please. My chest. Oh.
At this point, if I say anything more, Dr. Fuller's likely to throw me in the insane asylum part of this hospital and say that I'll say that this lady's got a, what is it?
Nurse? Deborah. Come and help me, please.
What do they always call it when women didn't act as people expected?
I'll tend to it right away.
Sodium bicarbonate?
He's in your hands.
Hysteria! Yes, that's it. Wonderful. Hysteria.
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Oh dear, that's certainly not good.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Perhaps.
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
What did you see there?
Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
Well, that's why you should be careful around abandoned buildings, people.
No idea.
Everyone keep your mind about it. Broke his leg skating, doing sick kickflips by the docks. Perhaps he was. Maybe he was one of the first ever skateboarders. Pioneer. Wright brothers have nothing on this fellow. The Wright brothers actually survived most of their experiments. But this brave pioneer, skating by the docks, did a sick kickflip, first in time in space.
Given her file,
Went straight for the floor. The might of his kickflip shattered the floors, and he broke his back. Wow, an empty drawer? How uncommon.
What is the boiler room key doing here?
The
key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it.
I'm going to take it? No, apparently not.
Intoxication from breathing organic vapors.
Ah, that green smoke, eh? Certainly don't make hospitals like this anymore. Though I did, funnily enough, this style of hospital I've seen before. A few old country hospitals still look like this. Their corridors were a lot narrower, though. Could barely fit anything through the damn corridors, let alone a stretcher with a person on it.
Where did my fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
Right. Oh, hey, fella.
Ethan.
Mr. may or may not be dead.
Marie,
What are you doing here?
I'm waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
You're not here for treatment, right?
Am I so obvious?
Is that Big Chungus? This fella? That's a bit rude to him.
I know
It's the old cop with the scar on his face and may or may not have been disemboweled earlier in the game.
Me too, Ethan.
Some history.
Well,
look at this tension, fellows. Romantic tension, it seems.
I have nightmares.
Let's all stand in the corner
keep me awake
and go,
night.
woo,
It
like
seems
high school
stupid, I
girls.
know, but
Do high school girls still do that?
Actually, you're not.
I'm
the
afraid
only
I couldn't
one.
say.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see. It's like I'm turning mad.
Well, that's a worrying sign.
So many people have this affliction. It's like an epidemic.
Do you Think it might be related to Fuller's work?
Could also be related to the
I don't
cult
know
that's
yet,
underneath
but
the
I
island,
will
but you know,
figure all this out.
Fuller's probably
Everyone in
part of it.
Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
Classic.
We don't have any medication left.
Oh. There's no excuse then.
Well, I haven't certainly been
I should let you work.
in high school
Take
for
care,
a long
Ethan.
time either, mate.
You too, Marie.
Well, I technically have been in a high school. That sounds super suspicious when I say it like that. But only not as a student. So, I visited high schools for nieces and nephews, been to performances them for nieces and nephews. I watched Grease once. Hell, I even performed as an actor, as like a parent's version of Grease. We all did. Grease lightning and stuff. The kids did one, and then the adults did one, and we were all very overacting and having a lot of fun about it. Quite entertaining. Have a guess of who I was in old Grease lightning. Oh, 7 years.
I don't have any business in the boiler room.
It does get very difficult to remember. You blink your eyes and suddenly you're retiring. Be careful. Don't let life escape you, mate. But yes, good old performances. Let's get that boiler room.
The key to the boiler room.
Why can't I pick up the damn key to the boiler room?
Find it.
Clearly I need to get into the boiler room. Let's run around the hospital. Actually, one thing I've been recommended never to do. If you're wearing a uniform and appear official, don't run in a hospital. It makes everyone think there's something going on and they'll run after you. Become like a conga line of lemmings, doctors and nurses thinking you're running to a code blue or some such. So be careful. Don't dress up as a doctor and run down a hospital hallway. You'll scare a heap of people.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
Okay, yes. Respect the nurses, I understand. You're doing good work, Miss Donovan.
Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
Right.
Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
What is he
I will
paying
tell
you?
him, nonetheless.
Distract Donovan. Alright. Is there another way to get this off? Oh, there.
The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
Ah, they're cleaning it up, are they?
Let's hope I can go through the administration office.
I see. Let's find some distractions, shall we? I wonder what we'll find when we're trying to distract people. You
So,
fellas.
Doctor,
Did I see her?
I've her blood analysis is real.
are you talking about...
She's still recovering.
Oh, thank you. We'll wait for her to wake up.
I think I just did a nice thing. How interesting. Anyone willing to become a distraction? Why is there a science book in a cupboard? Hello?
We're running out.
I know, Doctor. We sent the purchase order, though, but Mrs. Donovan refused it.
Very
Once
rude.
again.
Can't you do anything?
Donovan takes her instructions directly from Dr. Fuller. I'm afraid I can do
What
nothing
is
about
Fuller
it.
thinking?
We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks.
Well, at least this isn't being caused by some sort of epidemic, but... Well, I suppose it is being caused by an epidemic.
The door to the boiler room is locked.
Yes, I know. And there is a key. Why can't I bloody pick it up? One more room.
This man, Edward Pierce, his file is incomplete.
Ooh.
What did Fuller do to him?
Yes. Ah, Edward Pierce. Fun.
Dr. Colden, we...
What is the problem?
Mr. Evans seems to be having trouble with his IV.
Oh.
I've done an exam. Deborah is looking after him.
And we had a patient come up from the psychiatric wing.
Oh.
You should go.
Uh-huh.
In theory, this is where we hang the key to the boiler room. Dr. Fuller always keeps his key with him.
Dr. Colden.
Let us find this particular patient. I wonder if we could send him on a warpath. Oh, Panda Knives, as violent as I expect from you, I suppose. That is a fairly fatal distraction. If what you're trying to distract her from is her very continued existence. Now the high security unit.
She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest.
Oh, good God.
It's so unfair.
That's... looks quite worrying, but I imagine that's probably some kind of steam machine? I'm honestly not too sure. I feel like I recognize one of those, and I do remember it having a lot less innocuous a purpose than what it looked like it has.
Elizabeth? You alright? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself.
Understandable. I've done a lot of cleaning work in my life, and they certainly do like leaving you with no one else.
I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
I'm going to make your life very difficult. Very soon. Haha. I'm sorry, little lass. But you'll have to deal with the reproach of your doctor for a bit longer. Let me open the bloody...
The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait.
Well, sorry, lass. Time to make your life a living hell. Yes, finally! I knew the key was bloody there, but they wouldn't let me take the damn thing. Okay, I did not pass my strength
I can't
test.
shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
Finally got the damn key. Now I need some sort of tool. This fellow looks like a tool. Get it? I'm being mean to a random man. His mustache is okay. So the pipe's quite nice. Yes, got them weak arms. Good for surgeries and putting in catheters, but terrible, terrible for turning valves. Now where could I find myself? Oop. A tool. There we are. Monkey wrench. I am the frail woman. There's a pretty good chance I wouldn't have passed the strength test as old Edward Pierce. Well, there's more alcohol than muscle mass. Oh no! It is you who's going to
I
die.
feel guilty about Elizabeth, but I need the diversion.
Be right back. Certainly. We can wait. Perhaps. I'll finish the game before you're back. Now, where are we? Ah, yes, the distraction.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
I'm not too sure, actually, how that would have helped any more than just turning the damn wheel, but... Let me go talk to
I
him.
have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's... Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
Yes, I'm not too sure.
Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody could rest assured. I will.
Okay. I have to talk to Elizabeth. Apparently it worked, though. That power of the monkey wrench. Infused with the power of the monkeys. That's clearly how it did it.
I was about to mention it. It seems it's been cut off, yet...
I can't take...
It's not your fault if we have defective plumbing.
And yet, I'm the one who gets punished. Courage, Elizabeth. Here we go. And hold your tongue this time.
Ah, give her a lashing, mate. Come on, lass. Start a fight. Come on. HJ, it's 3 o'clock, mate. Challenger to a duel. Going that way. Why the hell's she here?
Mrs. Donovan?
I'm busy.
Oh, that was quick. Damn.
Yes, ma'am.
Here I was hoping to finish the game before you get back. Maybe we're gonna miss the whole thing.
The missing files must be hidden here.
Oh, this is a great time. In the ship.
Something is wrong with these masts. It's some sort of puzzle.
Why the hell would he design something like this?
I've unlocked something.
That was easy.
Patient files. I was right.
Sarah Hawkins interview. Let's go.
Session number 17.
No, I don't think we're anywhere close.
Sarah Hawkins. The patient appears to have finally accepted the illusory nature of what she calls...
This
is that a human finger?
A woman. Why keep it here?
It goes without saying.
Okay. That's certainly a worrying thing for a doctor to have in his office. God.
Why does Dr. Fuller write psychological reports about Sarah Hawkins?
Is he a psychiatrist?
I presumed that her blood was the key.
Why would that be the case?
But I found nothing to explain Mrs. Hawkins' abilities.
No, I don't think this game would ever get to that point. It does feel like more of a slow burn game where eventually you're faced with some great and unknowable horror, or you die before you see it, or you drink far too much whiskey and walk off into the sunset.
The poor souls downstairs are not Fuller's only subjects.
Indeed.
Then James came. Irate that Charles was keeping secrets from him.
Why is Ethan on medication?
No, I have not played Thief. I've heard of it though.
I am prepared.
Oh, so that's what he was angry at.
Hawkins, Fitzroy, and Fuller.
Yes,
What
Thief
the
is that
connection between these three?
stealth game, right? Are you stealth things? I would assume from the name.
When all the fuss about the Hawkins incident finally comes to an end, I will dispose of her belongings.
Wow, what a scrupulous man. He's got so many scruples, he could probably wear a suit made of them. Be like the Emperor's new clothes. Beautiful, but only cowards can't see them. Now. Interesting. How is the old Thief games? I believe they made some sort of... I feel like I saw a more modern version of the Thief games.
Of course. Sarah Hawkins is the connection.
But I'm not too sure. Interesting, I didn't know everyone had this reconstruction ability, and here I thought...
I must go back.
It too has an insane asylum. Oh, fun. Seems to be quite a common thing. There was that other stealth-based game that took the world by storm a couple of years back. Played a few levels over Christmas. What was it called? Dishonored? Dishonored. I feel like that one had an insane asylum too, didn't it? I remember my nephew playing through it. Did that have an insane asylum? Does anyone know? Dishonored? Not get caught, eh? To the psychiatric wing. Where? Oh, mass murdering everyone. Isn't that a bad thing to do? I was told that there were different endings to that game that came about if you didn't murder everyone. Perhaps we should give it a go. I'll do a non-murder run. Just to annoy you, Panda Knives. To spite you. Good God. Karma, yeah. But it was too fun to murder people. That's a damn shame, and not the first thing you want to see when you're going into a high security ward. Oh, good God.
Ah, now that's the Marie that I know. I knew I could count on your
Silent.
scientific curiosity. It's time to show you what you were so eager to discover.
Whoa, okay. Good God, man. Personal space? Haven't you ever heard of it? Huh.
If you're gonna shoot me, at least have the decency to look me in the eyes.
Well, well, well.
Around. Slowly.
R.I.P. Yes, indeed. Rest.
Talk, filthy thief. Oh, I swear
Rest
I'll shoot.
in pepperoni. For some reason, I just remembered that.
Take a minute to look around. Everything points to Charles Hawkins.
He's dead.
No. He was here for a very specific
Ripperoonie chipperoonie. Is it something my nephew always used to say, speaking of R.I.P.?
Why was it in the safe?
Have you read it?
Indeed I have.
Question.
How foolish of you. Now you won't be able to escape his will. What did it show you?
She went into Fuller's office. She was looking for Sarah Hawkins' corpse.
Sarah Hawkins, you say? Let's go back to the start, shall we? Whose life did the Necronomicon choose to show you?
Dr. Colden. She was at the Riverside Institute. She's in danger. I have to go.
Wait. No one knows the occult better than me. You might need my
Yes,
help.
I would say that. Look at you.
All right. All right. I might need you after all.
Perfect. Let's meet later at the Hawkins mansion.
You never escape
Now
the damn
go.
place.
Rescue the doctor.
Thank you, Drake.
And ooh, wow, actiony. What happened to my face? My beard seemed to have lost a number of hairs. Am I turning into a cephalopod? Oh, my goodness. But, yes, I think that is certainly where we shall call it for tonight. I wasn't expecting to play for this long, considering how tired I was. Not too sure. Can't say I remember that well. If we didn't have guns in the original Call of Cthulhu. Doesn't seem to match the tone, though. The only time I picked up a weapon was to stab a painting. That is probably the furthest thing one can say is from such things as gunfights and, well, yeah, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, I suppose. Jump over there. Move myself up a tad. Yeah. And here we are, at the end of the night. Did you all enjoy yourselves? I certainly enjoyed myself a lot more than I expected. Fellas certainly made it a bit more exciting for me. Nothing like a good conversation to re-energize my old bones. But yes. No, thank you for watching and talking. It's always nice. Thank you all for watching. It was very kind. It's always nice for people who like to talk. I'd not know what I'd do if I didn't have everyone chatting away. We had quite a few people this time. I think we had the most watching simultaneously that I've ever had. So, that's very good. I hope you all have a good night. Sweet dreams. And well, don't get shanked with a syringe, shanked by a doctor with a syringe full of something. Yes, if only it would last forever. But unfortunately, we all have places to be and people to see. And it's good that this mic worked out, right? I'll have to make sure to get a good set of mics. Hopefully there won't be any fuzziness anymore. Well, oh yes. I did forget something exciting. If it all works out, I should actually be having a collaboration on Tuesday. Well, Monday evening for you fellas. Yes, a collaboration, first of its kind on my channel. Suppose you'll have to wait with bated breath of who I'll be collaborating with. Some of you may know them, you may not. But who knows? We'll find out. I don't want to be too, yes, it's going to happen sort of thing, but it's certainly looking like it will. So Monday evening, about 9 PM CST, I believe. Look forward to that. I have to catch the vote, indeed. I believe we'll be playing Phasmophobia. That's why I did that whole, this and being in the works, is why I did that whole, Phasmophobia stream. Get prepared. So, we'll see how that works out. Be excited, be happy. I'm quite excited for it, and very nervous. Very nervous. I can't just keep talking constantly, I actually have to balance between them, but yes. Good night, sweet dreams. Don't be shanked by a doctor full of mystery syringe. Au revoir.